everyone, Karen here. Today I have a double pull card for you. And what makes this a double pull card is that when you pull on this side, the other side automatically opens up. You put a message on this side, and this side you could put a second message, or today I'm going to put a gift card holder on here. And this gift card holder, you can take these dimensions and put a gift card holder in any card that you make. So the one we're going to make today is going to be in portrait, just to show you that you can do it in either direction and it will work. So let's go over the pieces we're going to need here. So there's going to be a template and an SVG. If you don't have the ability to cut out an SVG, just cut out the template here, because this is a simple 4x6 piece of paper with the little holes, these little slots cut into it. So just take a 4x6, piece of paper, put this template over the top, mark where you need to cut it, and just cut out those spots. You will then need a 3x6 piece of paper, which we will go over how we're going to cut that into a gift card holder. Then these are the pieces for the rest of the card. So you will need one that is 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that is the piece that goes here that you put your message on. So if you don't want a square, you don't have to cut it in a square, but that is as big as you can go and still have it fit inside. Because today I am going to use my little shape message I have here. And then you're going to need a 4x6 panel that you're going to put all your decorations on. And I've watercolored this one, so I will have a background for the decorations I'm putting on here. Then you will need 2 5.5 by 3 1/4 pullouts, and these are the ones that are going to pull out in either direction. You will then need a 6.5 by 4.5, which is going to be your mat from where you're decorating. And then you're going to need a 5x7. Now I have a thin piece of paper here, so I also have a very heavy piece of white cardstock that I'm going to glue these two together just to give it a little bit more substance when you're pulling it back and forth. You do want this back piece to be nice and sturdy. And you will also need a piece of acetate that is 1 inch by 8.5. And I did stick a piece of blue painter tape on here just so I can keep track of it, because I know it looks like I'm holding air. So hopefully the acetate will not get lost. So let's put everything back in my tray and let's get started. All right, so the first piece I want to take care of is this mechanism. This is how we're going to get it to slide back and forth. So I'm going to take off this painter's tape. And like I said, this was only on here so I didn't lose it, because we've all lost our acetate. So we're going to slide this through here. Now when you slide this through, you want to make sure that it has a little bit of wiggle room there. You don't want any of this to be tight. So we're going to go up the back, we're going to go through the top, and then we are going to loosely attach it. So I am going to take some red liner tape here, put it across here, grab my scissors, give it a good rub, pull the tape off. Now I'm going to attach this. I'm going to put my hand underneath because I want to make sure this is not tight. And I'm going to attach that here. You want to make sure this goes back and forth very loosely, because if it is too tight, it's going to rip this part of the card after you put it together and you open it and close it a couple times, and that would be really, really sad. So then you want to check the sides here and make sure that it's smooth. So if you don't put it on completely straight, you're going to have a little edge that might catch. So I'm just going to check this just to make sure we are very smooth. Because when it's acetate, sometimes, it's hard to see. Alright, so now we have a nice smooth edge here. And this is going to sit down like this. So now I need to take some foam tape. Now I have some very thin, 1/4 inch wide by 1/16 thick foam tape. And that's really all you need. You don't need the 1/8 inch that we would use for shaker cards. 1/16 will get the job done. And you're only doing this to give it a little bit of breathing room, so you don't catch what you're doing here. So we're just going to put it along the edge, like that. And we're going to put it along this edge, like this. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And this part of the card is going to be completely covered. So you only want to use a nice sturdy piece of cardstock. I would use something very heavy if you have it. And it really doesn't matter what color it is because it's all going to be covered up. This is just going on the inside. And then we'll have our tape here. And like I said, this is 1/4 of an inch wide by 1/16 thick. And that is all we really need to make sure our mechanism has room to slide back and forth. All right, so now we need to find where our little seam was because we want that on the end. And where the seam is where we're going to start. So I'm going to put another piece of tape across the top of the seam that we had already. And cut that off. Now I'm going to grab the 2 papers that were 5.5 by 3.25. These are the ones that are going to pull out. So we're going to take the tape off of this, and I'm going to pull it up here a little bit because I don't want to put a crease in my acetate. So I'm going to hold it like this to get the tape off. I don't know if it's the humidity right now, but this tape is sticking something fierce. All right, so we have our piece. I'm going to pull it down to the bottom, and I'm going to lay this across, centering it in between the little tracks we've made here. Okay, so now this piece will go back and forth like this. So we're going to put it in the closed position, flip it over. Now we put the tape on this side. So now this time we're going to put the tape on the other side. So we're going to, again, we're going to put some tape going across. Cut this off. Pull it here to the middle so I don't crease the acetate. Pull this tape off. I'm going to grab my other roll of red liner tape because that one doesn't seem to be holding very well. All right, this is a brand new roll. Let's see if this tape works better. I'm going to put 2 strips because this red liner tape is a little thinner. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 strips down. And let's see if this wants to behave itself a little bit better. All right. So now we're going to make sure that it's down on the end here. So our strip of red liner tape is right here. I know this is all really hard to see. And I'm going to take this, put this in the middle, just like we did on the other side. Now, before we attach it to anything, let's give it a pull and see. Now it is swinging easily back and forth. And it's that simple. It's a matter of attaching it on one side, to the left on the one side and the right on the other. So now we just need to attach it to the card base. So this is the 5 by 7. Let me grab my glue. Because like I said, this is a really thin pattern paper, so I wanted it to be a little thicker. So let me grab this. And I'll lay this down. And these are both 5 by 7, so I just kind of need to tap it, make sure it's all nice and flush. All right, there's that. So my card is going to be up and down like this. So I'm going to take the tape off of one side and the other side. Now I'm going to hold it, making sure that my little slide pieces here are not touching the tape. And I am just going to put this in the center of the card. Let me turn it this way. just so I can see it a little bit better. All right, so there we are. So now we're going to test it again. Make sure we're still sliding, and we still are. We're still good. Now when you get to this point, if you feel like your paper is hanging over, you can always trim it. So now we're going to peel the other side off. I'm going to grab my matte layer, which is the 6.5 by 4.5. Make sure this is laying down, and this now goes in the center. All right, now let's test our card again. Make sure we're still good. We didn't catch anything. There we go. We are moving freely. All right, we are all set. So now it's a matter of decoration. So now I have the watercolor that I did, and I'm going to glue this onto here. Let me grab my glue. And I am going to kind of go up to the edge here because this is watercolor paper and it is wrinkling a little bit. All right, so this goes in the middle here. All right. Now let's give it a pull. Make sure we still have it. Okay, we're still good. Okay, so now let's open the card. And we're going to decide. I want to put the message on the bottom. And I'm going to put the gift card holder on the top. So this part is just going to get glued down on here. And then we'll let this whole thing kind of dry while we make the gift card holder. All right, so this will be on this side. And you want to make sure you get your edges all down because you don't want it catching when you're opening and closing your card. So let's just set this to the side while we make the gift card holder. All right, so let's bring in my scoreboard. So this is a 6-inch piece of paper, 6 inch by 3. I'm going to score it at 3. And I'm going to score it at 1/4 inch all the way down. And I'm going to flip it over and do it 1/4 inch all the way down again. Now you could go at 2 3/4. For me, it's just easier to do it at the 1/4 both sides. All right, so now we're going to cut part of this away. Now you want to cut out the score line, and we're going to go up to the 3-inch line that we scored, and we're going to cut this out. Okay, and now to keep it from catching, I want to make sure this is at an angle. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'll go down this side, make sure I'm cutting out the score line. To the 3-inch score line that we did going across. Cut all that out. Make sure you cut the score line out. And then I'm just going to cut a little wedge here, just to make sure it all lays flat. Okay, so now what we need to do is fold this down. Fold the insides. Like that. Now we're just going to glue it. Now I'm going to glue it to where the folds are on the outside, and the reason I'm going to do that is it has less of a chance on catching on the gift card if you put it on the outside. So I'm just going to put some glue along this side and some glue along this side. Fold this over, fold that over, and let that dry. I may put a little clip on it while it dries just to hold it down, because the call-out glue that I use does take a second to grab. I'll see it's grabbing. It's good. All right, so now we are all set with that. That's all it takes. Now you can take this little gift card, holder and put it in any card you want. So if you're making like a regular 5x7, let me grab one. All right, so let's say you just have a regular opening card. You can just take this gift card and put it right in here. And so you can always attach your gift card. This is a great little pocket, you know, just to attach anything to a card. You know, and it's simply just a 3x6. All right, let me close this up. All right, so let's see. Are we ready to go here? So this is all dry, I think. All right, we're still good. So the other thing you may want to do is put the word pull down here on this end. It's going to be obvious, I think, you know, that the card needs to, you pull it open, but if you want to put a pull on there, you can. Now I have this set from Gina K that has a bunch of pulls, pushes, and everything else you might want to think of. It has arrows, fun inside, light me up. It has all kinds of things on here. So I'm just going to stamp the word pull down here on the very bottom. All right, so I'm going to close the card. So I have that much room there. So let me grab my pull. This is the one I've used the most out of this set. Yeah, that will fit fine. So let me open it up. Hold the card down with the magnets. And just going to put the little pull there. Now, if you just want to write it in there, you absolutely can. Sometimes my handwriting's not the best. So I'm just going to stamp this real quick. Let me grab my black ink. And we're just going to press down. And now it says pull. And we'll just put this away. Yeah, but this is a great little set from Gina K. It has all the things you might need. All right, so let's put this away. All right, so now let's take the gift card holder and we'll attach this to the top. Now when you do this, you do want to make sure this is attached really good. So I think I might actually take some dry adhesive and go across the edge here and really glue this on. Because you don't want this to catch. So you're going to want this to sit like this. You want to put it low enough to where when it's closed, it's not going to show. Let's make sure. Okay, so we're all good. Now we have our message done, and we have, let me turn it this way so we can see. We have the message done, and we have that. All right, so now all that's left is to decorate the front. So I have a lemonade stand set that I drew. So I have some balloons, I have some presents, I have a cake. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lemonade stand, let's see, I think I'm going to put it on a little bit of foam. I'm just going to use the 1/16 just to give it a little bit of height, maybe. Actually, I think I'm only going to put the foam on the top. I think you've seen me do this before. Let me grab thicker foam. All right. Too many things out. All right, so this foam is 1/16 thick, but it is a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm going to put this on the top here, just so I can give the top of this a little bit of something. So this will be here. My balloons will be here and here. Then the presents will go on the bottom. There we go. So this will be here. So I need to glue that about here. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on the bottom. Now this little digital stamp set has a lot of little pieces to it. There's a happy anniversary. There's some encouragement ones that say like you can do it. And it's in my Etsy store if anyone's interested. So I'm going to grab my fine tip bottle and I'm going to attach the streamers. And I colored all of this with alcohol markers. Let's see, so I'm going to put this one here, not cover the H. All right, we'll be on here. And I'll put the other streamer down this side. All right, now the balloons will go on top here. So I'm going to put some foam behind these balloons. Like this. One there. Now I am going to put a little bit of glue here because that looks a little funny. So I'm going to glue, you've seen me do this before, and it's the same thing I did with the lemonade stand here. Glue the bottom down, but have foam on the top. It does give your card a lot of nice dimension. So we'll glue that down. I'm going to have to put a little more glue on there. We'll put some glue on the bottom. And we have foam on the top. And we'll put this one over here. We're not covering the happy birthday part. Okay, now our cake, I'm just going to glue down flat because it should look like it's behind the edge here. So I'm going to slide it behind here, like that. Now I have 3 presents, which I can decorate the front. I think I'll put the green one in the middle, and they'll go on here. And I think I will put them on 1/16 foam, just to give it a little height here in the front. Alright, so we'll put this one over here. This one will be in the middle. And this one will be on the right-hand side. There it is. Happy birthday. And when you pull it here, that opens up and your gift card goes in the top there. So I hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That's how YouTube counts everything. And if you want to see all the other cards, because like the number 8 card I had here, this was a series of cards I've been working on, and we're working our way through all the numbered shapes. Subscribe and you'll find out when you'll get a notification of when I do all these other videos. And until next time, stay crafty.